Welcome to Biomutant. Heroes inspire in a way nothing else can. Gizmo wants to help if he can. He shouldn't need to remind you that he needs scrap to finish the Mekton, and it's your job to get him some. Where'd all the critters go? That's the leftover you're looking for. Just what you were looking for. Even the feel of the air changes as you go underground. Oh, that's perfect. Feel the wind. He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. He made a suction device so the Mekton can use the black tar as an instant refuel. You can also use it to clear oily goo puddles, so you can pass and access hard-to-get-to areas. He's been working on another project for the Mekton, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the scripts. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the jumbo puff. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find scripts. It's a little feisty and tough critter, a perfect fit for a live ammunition, if you ask him. This won't end well. It'll end fantastic! The Grease Monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Imagine that. You could just go to a place like this to get a proper meal back in the old world. Flatbed. Boom, boom. Hurts a lot. Take matters back into your own hands. Well placed. In the face. Crack-a-doo. Take this seriously, or it'll take you down. Seems like a peculiar item. You're such a luckster. Stomping time. That over there is Pt.5, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Night is on the way. Let's see. This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not many are as tough and clever as you must be. Says a monster hunter hears many things on the wind. Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes. Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make. You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care. It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss. When it comes to monsters, he mostly picks who dies. Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot. Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead. Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones.
Bon.
He's afraid you're just as stubborn as them.
Vaksan u intabadan ka maglay.
But enough of that, right?
Kalba.
He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed.
Kalba.
He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output. Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short.
Amanka.
Says as big as they are, the world is bigger. To find where they are, you need to see where they've been. Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter. Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big. There's no better place to start than a squip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes.
Tarinman
says it's not far at all. Fortunately for you, the squips seem to have acclimatized themselves to the otherwise uninhabitable dead zone.
Tarinman.
Moog says you should go hunt. Eyes on the road or whatever's ahead. Wait, it's the squip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. More than a little scary down here. That was fun. Whoa, smell that? Biohazard nearby. Locked. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. You have a chance to change the future for good or bad. So different from the surface down here. You have a good eye for that stuff. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like that. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Think of all the things you can cut with this. Couldn't stand another hour of daylight. Great view from up here. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. That's the special weapon he made to store the scripts in the Mekton. It will be strong enough to launch them at the Jumbo Puff. Gizmo's made vehicles before to confront the Jumbo Puff himself, but failed. But this time, it's different. The Mekton will be strong enough to do the job. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now, otherwise he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your own. He got the idea to build the Mekton when he found a big crate containing the metal frame for something Toxanol had named an exoskeleton. Gizmo wants to help if he can. So, says you covered the important things already. You need to believe how serious this is if you want to have any effect on it. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Wants you to know how great your father was. So kind and the truth. Gizmo wants to help if he can. If you don't want to die when the didn't have much else to say. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Take your time and enjoy the daylight. That's the Mekton with the most. Just watch where this thing's going. Mekton is even mightier. Mount up. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. Some places a Mekton just can't go. Right between the eyes. Knuckle pie. Gosford. Just put one stomper after the other. Getting there. Might want to fall back. The day is getting on. You can see a lot farther now than at night. Are you sure you're ready for this mech, Tom? Nice shot. Kill that one. Itchy trigger finger. Even the sound seems sharper here. Punch time. That's a jumbo puff with an appetite. Ain't no fuzz. Better put an end to it before it ends our world. Uh-oh. The jumbo puff is kicking it up a notch. It's time for an electric performance. Bad feeling about this. It goes all the way down to the stomach. Start like a snack, and you'll end up with a ride down the intestinal canal. That's too close to the end station. Better move up and away, or be swept out the bowel way. Wow, what a super-sized wormwhip. That must be as big as they come. You see, it's what's on the inside that counts. That meaty Taurus is already offbeat. End it. Taurus is pumping at half a beat. You know what to do. Who would have guessed it would go down with a throw-up? Can it really get any better than that? He thanks you for dealing with the first World Eater. It's a start. You should go see Out of Date and find out what you can about the machine he's named the Ark.
Hello?
You're good-hearted enough, so you'll have no problem getting him to share the information with you.
Can Boof?
He trusts you know where to find Out of Date by now. He's always been at the foot of the tree, and that hasn't changed. Gizmo will always make time for you. Says a savior wouldn't bother with saving the unsavable. Thinks it's weird you haven't met Lobo yet. You should hit the blimp station and put that right. Says talking to you was interesting. Gizmo will always make time for you. Don't be fiery. It probably won't bite. can make so many amazing things out of wood scrap. That's some good e-waste there. Now you understand better. Suburbia, a place to get away from the city stink. Flash the slash. On the home stretch. Great shot. Oh, ouch. That board is filled with all sorts of hopes and fears of those who didn't like the city or nature and got trapped in between. You're getting close to what they used to call suburbia now. Not quite a city, and nothing like nature. When the cities became too polluted, some moved here. Eventually they ran out of places to escape. Back then, it was easier to move away from the messes you made than try to do anything to clean them. You'll find some traces of travels, even out here in the sticks. You're maybe not sure you want to leave. Always good to have some wood scrap like that on hand. Don't trip it, just keep moving. There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. Rubber scrap is too much fun, so stretchy. Scrap's great for building things. Let's see. Give your mount a pat and pick a path. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds.
Yeah, move forbo. Boom.
You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility.
Atu awa ya ea.
He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Kabobe farhi.
Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots. What do you think his are? He's the one that's called Out of Date, remember? Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone.
Come, Reaper.
Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things
E paso tompupu bukoye.
If you continue to do good, good will follow you.
Honto kontue pon yevun koya.
If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark.
Potowata.
Two sides to everything, but for him it would be devastating if you were forced to use the Ark to escape while the world crumbled.
Yatu yao mawa.
Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees.
Paikatawa.
He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core.
Paikatawa.
The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate.
Yuba dolowawa.
He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head.
Atu wamawa.
It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real.
Muk bebuk.
He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground.
Kuchai. Hifar befarb.
The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out.
Kuchai. Hifar befarb.
The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end.
Muk bebuk.
He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm.
Oloi bobo paweg.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Lotu lu bayo.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Goop in the southeast.
Far kobemako to far titaba.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Goop.
Far kobemako to far titaba.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Goop and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That's the sound of impending doom. Out of Date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The Pt.5 needs to be handled.
Yeah, so what up, Mua?
Out of Date says that Goop is worried now that the Southeast World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Ayamuaya.
He explains that Goop is working on a goo-gliding vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done.
Ayamuaya.
Out of Date suggests that you should head southeast as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Ba no yualu.
He wonders what's on your mind.
Ba no yualu.
Has plenty to do, so no worries. Some of the beasts who live here have never seen day. You really know how to move. and gets everywhere. Slash. That there's Subnautica Station. Goop flounders around in there. Feels good to be alive. Let's see. Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim. Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only together we can remember the story as it was. He can't tell you much, as he didn't want to hear anything about it. He can't understand how someone could be so vicious, even though he knows there are reasons behind it. He understands you've returned to face Lupa-Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life, not the story you're told about it. He thinks that's the right thing to do. It's only when you have forgiven that you'll find peace.
Run, Dark, run!
It's not a race.
You only say that because you're losing.
That doesn't mean I'm wrong.
No, there are lots of other reasons you're wrong.
Can hardly believe the world is going to make it. Wonders what that's going to do to the goo. Thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf. Thinks the Myriad made a good match with you. You're both like sunshine on the surf. But hey, back to the goo. Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Subnautica station as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit, so you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his goo glide, starting with the old wreck box outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the Porky Puff. It's not that it won't keep your head above the surface, but it needs improving to carry you across the thick goo out by the Porky Puff. This might be the end of everything as we know it. It's harder for others to see you in the dark. The world is so much smaller underground. Better get a move on if you want to change things. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect this had on the evolution of wildlife was, as we know now, the only reason we came to exist. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework.
Mukambe. Sayruya.
He seems happy to talk. He says you need to go find Gulp at the Sinky Dink and bring back enough quacks to sustain the Googlide with infinite ammunition. Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows about, but doesn't really want to talk about it right now. Says it's hard to keep a secret from someone as smart as you. Might as well tell you where the place is, as you'll figure it out eventually. Thinks it's strange that your follower is a machine. Says you should take it easy. He seems happy to talk. Figures things must be bad if you're out in the dark like this. Your alliance with the Myriad tribe is growing stronger. Says you'll see each other later. He seems happy to talk.
Saluja.
He says you need to go find Gulp.
Ja tu puhuilla.
Says Lobo is the...
Mukamba.
understands...
Wingi.
He seems happy to talk.
Yangu.
Seems surprised. What you do here matters to you, and lots of notices on the board for things that made sense in the days when the surf was a lot cleaner. Interesting to see what they cared about here. Wonder if any of it matters now. In the old days, this was a port for boats that went under the surf. They helped clog the surf into goo. Toxanol didn't do it on purpose, I don't think. Their machines made a mess, though, and they never cleaned up after themselves. You should be able to find a track here. Just need to keep your eyes open. This here is the Sinky Dink, home of Gulp, at the very least.
Ja.
Let's see.
Ille senere farani så tøvle med.
Thought you were smart enough to...
Så tit.
We'll be around. He's pretty sure he's heard of you before, although the details are maybe a little hazy. He wonders if you have something for him to drink. Guesses he does, but it's a long life in a wild world. Sometimes he's shaken, not stirred. Says you look like you've got a powerful thirst to do something in this world. Good, bad, not really sure, but it seems like you've been drinking in your destiny and liking the flavor. Wonders if you could take the time to help a man slake his own thirst. You'd be doing him a liquid solid. You're a do-gooder, so you know you want to.
Aufschlag.
Either way, he hopes you find a way to wet your whistle before the world comes to an awful dry end and leaves us all thirsting for more.
Aufschlag.
Says life's like a mystery drink. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's awful. But either way, you can't stop drinking till you're dead. Sure, but that's nowhere near as quick and easy. Who wants to stop to chew? Wants to raise a glass to you getting the world fixed up a bit. Respects how you always try to help, no matter that the world's fate is hard to swallow. Sees why you joined up with the Myriad. They like a peaceful drink, just like you. Says he sells them drinks. They mostly suck them down on their own. But who cares about them? Says you'd be as bummed out as him if you came for the hot stuff. The Glugmocker, Nimhimbibble, and his favourite radium syrup. That one's even more intoxicating now, aged in truck tankers and all.
Kabangi, lubalingit.
Without a drink, and radium syrup especially, he can't move, much less think, as the power of his mind is directly proportional to the quantity of syrup he swigs. That's why he's called Gulp. The drink helps him forget the state the world is in, but it only lasts until tomorrow. The world is still doomed, even if the sun goes up. Says that's what gives your internals such a great glow. He wants you to know he has other interests too. He's the Surf Archipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example. There are other ways than a cold drink to relieve stress, even in these dark times, and, fortunately for you, he can help. Watching Pippi's flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you can look at and touch, like quacks. Squeezing them is a great way to relax. They're better at floating than flapping, so you should be able to net a few without growing yourself a pair of wings. On your own again. Ah, life on the Goo. The Quack Hollow, it's just lonely. Leave that ride. Gonna need a key of some kind. The world is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Sure useful. You need to line up the switches so they match. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Gun it and go. Daytime is a good time to be outside.
Sairuya. Oh,
That's enough quacks to sustain the Googlide flipper with infinite ammunition.
awali.
Goop says he was there when the Porky-Puff took Out-of-Date's leg, so this World Eater has made it personal. After that, Out-of-Date started using his head instead of his legs and came up with the plan on how to best make a stand against the World Eaters, and it wasn't by foot.
Jaida.
He seems happy to talk.
Wanap dapat ko.
You need to help Goop defeat the Porky-Puff before it destroys the southeast route.
Laway divani.
Says you should enjoy the day.
Titutuada.
Says you'll...
Laway divani.
He seems happy to talk.
Avanya.
Under... Let's see. makes you want to smile. We all share the same destiny, destruction or survival. That's the top of a shaftiloo, a gigantic dig-hole toxinol cut into the forest to pull things out of the earth. You should figure your nighttime strategy. You finally found the village of Bumlidoff. Let's see. Looks like some solid wood scrap there. Head on. Stay on top and you'll be fine. Yes, some e-waste for you. That old home might not be stripped clean yet. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? That sludgy junk works is a real mess. A moon could make this a hunter's night. There's the Reef outpost, which the Lotus tribe slapped together long ago. There's a serenity about this spot. Let's get that mount moving while the getting is good. Always sad to see a ruined shopperia like that. We are lonesome animals that spend all our life trying to be less lonesome. You should be able to use that. Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first.
Kuri kumbala muma. Pial tu ma.
Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Inadab sunka?
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid.
Apli tonomuta.
Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark.
Masamal.
But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Kala.
Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent Gnotes as prey.
Kamonu.
Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be.
Kuri kumbala muma.
She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least.
Ala.
She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still.
Kuri kumbala muma.
Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here.
Kodotoku.
Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
There's a bright day coming!
Hey, that's going to get you burned.
The only one getting burned around here is you.
That stings.
Oh, do you want some first aid for that?
Kanamunt.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones.
Dere.
You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can.
Ferena masalapu.
So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it.
Ferena masalapu.
Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out.
Bola kudo.
Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights too.
Narolute.
They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them.
Asadurutu.
But let's not speak of that now.
Asadurutu.
She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Monibasa.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Monibasa.
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
Dere.
She can't be sure. You'll have to wait and see.
Dropalo.
Noko is always willing to help.
Domale tuku.
Let's see. Everything seems so far away. You found the Majut meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Hey, nice shot. Goodbye to another night.
Ora do male tuku.
Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned.
Kial do male kanodo.
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Apli tonomuta.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Kial do male kanodo.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time.
Kanoruta.
She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though.
Brumblene marsamongu.
Noko is always willing to help.
Asana jota.
Look at those notices on the board. Too bad the Gnotes couldn't read them. If you wander around here, you might find Noko. She just loves those Gnotes. Once the power ran out, it made sense to ride Gnotes, and that tradition continued through the years. Powered types of transportation polluted the world, but didn't poop in the street. Obviously, they didn't have their priorities right in those days. Watch your step here, and you might find tracks of another traveler. Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. Those look sharp on you. The story will go on as long as there is someone there to listen. Want to get your arms swole? Got to time it right to make them work. Left, right, left, right. Pumping good, looking better. What a wonderful day! Keep to the straight and narrow. Locked up tight. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. You'd expect to see it dispenser. Wind the cranks to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is. You should flick the switches in order to green-light the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. Ready to roll? The day is calling. That's just nasty. Biohazards make you puke. Finding things both here and there. So many creatures doing so many things during the day. Grace under pressure.
Verena masalapu.
With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned.
Brumblene marsamongulu.
She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got.
Asana yopa.
The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world Mecha-Majut.
Masamal.
If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away.
Asana yopa.
It's a seat you fasten on the back of a mount to safeten up your ride. It can become quite bumpy and risky without.
Low.
Cofintra Bidwitchen.
You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mecha-Majut.
Cofintra Bidwitchen. Cofintra Bidwitchen.
That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Noko.
Cofintra Bidwitchen.
Give it a little pat. Go on.
Cofintra Bidwitchen.
Kanaruta.
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of Bon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride.
Minalagi mamuru.
Nokko's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it.
Asadurutu.
She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe.
Puri kumbalamuma.
You'll find Mito at Bright Light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths.
Pendrine senema.
They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight.
Kanamunta.
Nokko is always
Aplitonumuta.
Puzzly. See that broken boat over there? Looks like it still floats. Don't you love that surf spray? It's the Pt.5 nibbling bug. It took quite a liking to the crunchy stuff after munching down out-of-date's leg. The boom ball and tow it beneath the puff. Unleash the quacks. Ain't that cute? The two big playing with quacks. Maybe do that again later. you feel it? It's the brisk wind of change. Don't let this opportunity slide. He thanks you for dealing with another World Eater. You're halfway there. He's got word out-of-date spotted Lupin and has a feeling your time has come. He hopes you're up for it. Even though you're good-hearted, you shouldn't miss this opportunity to confront the Predator. Just head back to the foot of the tree. Fingers crossed Lupin will stay put until you're there. Got word you found the greatest glider of all, an Ark, and it's all good to go. Can't imagine how that would feel, to zoom so fast. Funny that you found an Ark when you don't need to go anywhere in it. The world's still going to be here. Proud of you for thinking about helping before escaping, either way. Wonders if there are any open seats left in that fancy Ark glider of yours.
So, what we have here is an opportunity to help your next. There's a seat open on the Ark should you want to offer it as a gesture of appreciation.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
Feels thrilled to snag a scoop, knows he's repeating himself, but can't help talking to you. Says you'll meet again.